The relationship between China and the Solomon Islands is strengthening by the day. Prime Minister Sogavare saying after a week-long visit to Beijing, China is the way forward. This should scare every single one of us. The Chinese Communist Party is not looking to cosy up to the Solomon Islands because they care. This is purely strategic. Here to explain this to us all is Liberal Party Defence and National Security Policy Chair Lincoln Parker. Lincoln, welcome. Great to have you on.
G'day.
What's going on?
Well, this should scare all of us. It should scare and concern all Australians, and not just Australia, but everybody in the Pacific Island region, that we now have a country, Solomon Islands, just off the northeast coast of Australia, that is sliding further and further into China's orbit and has been on a rapid trajectory into that orbit since 2019, when Sogavare unilaterally decided to switch diplomatic recognition away from Taiwan to Beijing, China. And that's why this week we saw the Australian government call for some immediate transparency on what this new review and strategic framework partnership is between Solomons and China.
Labor accused the former government of dropping the ball in the Pacific, and other people did too, not just the Labor government. Have they done any better in this space?
Well, the Labor government have completely even dropped the ball further. They've fumbled the ball, they've knocked the ball on, and now it's being scored, a try is being picked up and scored at the other end of the field. Yeah. Because, I mean, since we saw Labor get into power and they put a lot of initial contact into the Solomons and other islands, we had Penny Wong there, we had Albo there, and there's that famous...
It's almost the first thing she did, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And Albo went and gave Sogavare a big hug, and we give them about $200 million a year. Look, it's really concerning, and we've got to be very worried about this, and I don't understand why the Australian government isn't actually doing more. OK,
well, that leads me to what was my final question. I'll go back one. What should the Australian government be doing then?
Well, I think the Australian government should completely cease all aid and money is going towards the Solomon Islands right now until we have a better, clearer understanding of what the Solomon Islands is doing, directly threatening Australia by getting very close to China, putting police there, arming their police, getting rid of opposition figures. And I met one of their opposition figures in Washington, DC about a month ago. So it's really scary, and I don't think the public knows about this. The geography hasn't changed.
No.
So 80 years ago, the United States Marines had to fight the enemy in Guadalcanal and the Solomon Islands on our behalf. So it's directly threatening us.
So why would the way to do it be, and I'm sure you know much more about it than I do, to withhold entirely rather than pile in with more? We can't compete with China, can we?
We can't compete with China, and look, we're being fooled around. Yeah. So he's happy, he's double dipping. He's taking all this, he's cozying up to China, and he's taking our money too, thanks very much. So we should go in there and say no until we understand exactly whether you're a Democrat, you're a democracy or not, because don't forget, he's also postponed elections.
Yeah.
So we want to support that.
No, it's a very good point, and it's a really important issue, and we'll keep on it with you. Lincoln, thank you so much for your time,
Thanks,
as always.
Erin.